And with me now in studio, Dr. Emily Landau for further analysis on the story. Dr. Landau, first, a technical question here about the language. If you're feeding uranium with gas into a centrifuge, is this the same thing as enriching? Is this a difference without distinction here?
Well, it's just the first stage that will afterwards lead to enrichment. In other words, they first inject it with uranium gas, and then they will conceivably begin to enrich uranium there.
And this is all happening in Fordo, right? This is
happening in Fordo, which is a concern.
Yeah, so Iran still claims everything that happens in Fordo is purely for civilian research purposes only, but this is a fortified facility deep under a mountain, correct?
Deep under a mountain, and the problem with what Iran says is that Fordo has absolutely no significance in the context of a civilian nuclear program. It has room for only 3,000 centrifuges, which have no meaning in the context of a civilian nuclear program. We now know from the nuclear archives that the purpose of Fordo, remember, it's fortified, it was secret, it was revealed in 2009. Iran didn't mean to declare it to the IAEA. The purpose of Fordo was to be a secret facility where Iran would be able to enrich 1 to 2 bombs worth of high enriched uranium a year. That's why they built Fordo. And the fact that the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, the negotiators conceded to Iran to leave Fordo open was a huge mistake.
The details that we know about Fordo's true purpose here, you mentioned this came from the archives. Is this the kind of the raid that really Israel played a key part in? Is this other research that was revealed later? How do we know really what Fordo truly is about?
Well, it was pretty clear beforehand because of the fact that it only has room for 3,000 centrifuges, because of the fact that Iran did not declare it, because of the fact that it's fortified and it's underground and it was secret and everything. But the archives just gave it that, you know, extra stamp of approval that this is what it was really for. It's mentioned in the archives that this was part of their plan to build 5 nuclear bombs.
Does this make a difference? Today's news about the injecting uranium gas, you know, really activating or updating the export of these centrifuges. Does it make a difference in the breakout time where Iran could build a weapon? I mean, in terms of the uranium that they're going to have, what difference does this make? And the ultimate concern, of course, about a nuclear weapon.
Every advance that they make gets them a little bit closer. They're not significantly closer from what they're doing now at Fordo. But the problem with Fordo is that it is fortified and it is underground, and there will be no way to stop Iran if they begin enriching there to 20% and maybe to higher levels. The other thing about Fordo, and this is another problem with the Iran nuclear deal, they left 1,000 centrifuges in Fordo. Not only did they leave the facility open, they left 1,000 centrifuges there that were supposed to be used for research purposes. In other words, they were supposed to reconfigure Fordo so that they would be used for research into isotopes. Iran never reconfigured. We're 4 years after the JCPOA was presented, and it was not reconfigured, and that's why they can enrich uranium. So what Iran is doing now is revealing all of the dangerous flaws that are in the JCPOA.
And so in terms of the next step, Rouhani says this is reversible. This is something that if we get sanctions relief, all this could stop. What do you make of Rouhani's comments, clearly acknowledging what we're doing is a new red line, but we could bring it all back?
Well, this is a pretty smart move on the part of Iran, right? They start breaching the JCPOA, and then to come back just to the JCPOA, not to renegotiate a better deal. They want to get all sanctions lifted. And the international community is sort of buying it. I mean, the United States isn't.
But Europe hasn't offered dramatic...
Look, the Europeans said this is unacceptable, what Iran is doing. But beyond unacceptable, it's not clear what the Europeans are willing to do to back up that statement. And they want the JCPOA to continue to exist. And Iran's new blackmail, which is, you know, lift all the sanctions, and then we'll just come back to the JCPOA. Not negotiate anything better than the JCPOA. If the Europeans go for this, it's a very bad move.
All right, Dr. Emily Landau with INSS, thank you so much for your analysis. Again, the top story, Rouhani confirmed.